Wow. Finally, a little bit of momentum. Yes, I say a little bit because even though you look at AMC, the price action today, of course, we close with 15% gains on the day. But let me share with you in this video why I think, we might have a lot more to go potentially this week, and also looking at what other meme stocks and what the media is actually covering to be the reason behind this huge thing to actually kind of give you another insight on what to expect for the next coming days, because we've been here many times in the past, and usually it's kind of a mixed feeling, if you see what I mean. But let's start right into it by looking at exactly what happened today, with starting with AMC. All right, close the day 15% in the green, which is actually good. All right, very good. But what actually caught my attention is when you look at some of the news media, you really cannot really see anything giving you a clear indication, on what happened. There wasn't any positive news coming from the company, and Benziga is saying why AMC shares are popping up today. If you click there, I bet you're not gonna have, a reason that we don't know outside of the shorts covering. Not all of them, but some shorts covered. But this is where it gets very interesting, because I don't believe it's precisely some of the short sellers in AMC specifically that I've been covering. Why? Because we have two other stocks also meme stocks, or labeled as meme stocks, that are that today went literally to the moon. I'm talking about GameStop and KOSS. Look at GameStop. GameStop gained 31% today, almost 31% today. At some point, the highest we saw today, this morning, you can see here, was $126 a share. What is actually weird here is when GameStop reported earnings last Thursday, literally after the news on earnings dropped, the stock dumped all the way back to 10% in the red after hours. And then the following Friday, boom, I think it gained 2% or 3%. And then Monday, it gained another 6%. And today, boom, it gained 31%. What does it tell us? Well, that the earnings, which were not that great compared to AMC, were supposed to bring the share price down. If we look at what AMC has been doing lately, all right, which is kind of opposite to what GameStop did, So that's number one. Number two, when you also look at KOSS, KOSS gained 30% today, and there was no earnings. There was nothing. If you look at the news on KOSS, there were pretty much nothing on earnings. All right. Now we do know that AMC and GameStop do trade in tandem, meaning they follow the same trend. And bunch of the short sellers that are in GameStop are also in AMC and are also in these other so-called meme stocks such as KOSS. Now, if you check Best Buy and Beyond, you check Nokia stock, they are not having a great day, a huge day. They're not sitting on the moon for the day compared to these three. All right. So this is my theory, right, on what we can expect actually some major price move on AMC moving forward. Why? Because GameStop gained 31%. That is almost double what AMC did today. If you look after hours, AMC is still on the green and GameStop is still a little bit on the red. All right. Now, if you look at the volume, that's number three. You look at the volume. The volume on GameStop, it's what? 2.5 million. I don't really trust the volume numbers on Google Finance to be that accurate, but 2.5 million trades on a day behind a 31% gain seems a little bit weird to me. Why? Because if this was the result of people buying, then we would have much more volume than this. So I bet you that this is majorly short sellers covering, part of short sellers covering their positions. All right. And because a bunch of these guys are shorting GameStop, KOSS, AMC at the very same time, when you leverage, when you get out of the positions in one, ultimately the other one will follow. But because we are not having 30% on AMC, I still believe we do have potentially the ability to actually go back to either the 20s here, because once we go back to the 1967, boom, directly it's a kind of a straight line to, first of all, 23 and then 25 and potentially 28, if not 30. All right, that may happen this week. Yeah, it had a chance to happen this week. Why? Because we know that even though, again, for AMC, the volume today was a little bit over the average of 30 million shares traded. We only had 41 million shares traded. So again, this is not really the result of retail investors or any other massive investor buying something. I may be wrong here, but looking at, the history that we've been kind of watching AMC and GameStop, a lot of these meme stocks for the last year or so, I really believe this is just a few short sellers covering the positions. Now, it gets very interesting because these were just the shorts covering, tomorrow, still the day, because we have now a momentum building. We now have, people will start to be interested back again into what is happening with AMC and Thing, because, it's been pumping. We might have another short seller or few short sellers, especially retails, coming here and trying to short AMC. But we also have buyers that may come here to chase the pump. All right, these are the pump chasers. These are the day traders. These are the swing traders. And we might have an interesting volatility coming in the next coming days. But if you look at the option chain on these two, it looks very interesting, especially here as we are getting closer to having a bunch of calls already in the money, closer to 16, but definitely as we close today at 18, man, those 20s call, phew, they're looking pretty juicy now. But again, we need to be careful because we all know that this is a control thing, all right? But I'm going to talk about it in a separate video coming later today. Then